Okay, considering an arc, which one is going to measure close to 3 radians? So 3 is just less than 3.14 as a number, which is pi, which is a half circle. So I'm looking for something that is just less than a half a circle, which would be D. Drawing this angle, so we know that it's negative. So we're going to be going in that direction, and an 8 over 8 pi would equal 1 pi, which is a half. So we are less than a half circle in a negative direction. Okay, number 3, which terminates in quadrant 3, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 3 radians would be less than a half circle. 7 pi over 5, that one would, because this would be 5 pi over 5. This would be 10 pi over 5. So this would be, I guess, 7.5 pi over 5 right there. Okay, we can eliminate the other ones. Negative 210, negative 180, and more. So that's in quadrant 2. 500 would be 360 plus how much more? 140. So that one would also be in quadrant 2. Sketch the angle of 5 radians in standard position. So this is 1.5-ish. 3.14-ish. Okay, and the bottom, that would be about a 4.7-ish, and then a 6.28-ish. So when we think about the numbers, that's kind of in my head. So 5 would be about right there. Okay, if you're stuck and you have a calculator, remember you can always times it by 180 and divide it by pi, which turns it into degrees. And then maybe you would have a better idea of where that would be. Convert to degrees, so we're in radians. So we times by 180 over pi. Okay, those pi's will cancel, which makes negative 468 degrees. Sketch the angle in standard position, so we're going backwards. So negative 90, 180, 270. So we'll be right there. What quadrant does this terminate in? So remembering what I had talked about before, 1.5-ish, 3.14-ish, 4.7-ish, 6.28-ish are kind of the baseline numbers of the quadrants. So 2.95, we would end up short of a full pi. Identify a possible value for the angle sketched in here. So if this is 1.5-ish up there and 3.14-ish there, 4.7-ish here. Well, this one obviously can't be 2, 3, so it would have to be 4. It'd have to be somewhere between those two values. Tyler incorrectly sketched this, so describing his error. So this means that we need to go backwards. So remembering that 8 pi over 4 would equal a full circle. So we're going to not quite get to a full circle. So Tyler drew it in the correct position, but his directional rotation was wrong. So you drew it in the correct spot, but rotated in the wrong direction. So you can see here the rotation is that way versus this way. Okay, so here's an angle. Determine in which quadrant it is located after a rotation of 3 radians. So 3 pi over 4 would be right here. Okay, I went 3/4 of a pi. So rotating 3 radians is just less than a half circle. So if we rotate almost a half circle, we would be in quadrant 4. So if you rotate almost a half circle. 10 radians, or 10 degrees, sorry. So we're going to times by pi and divide by 180. So 10 pi over 180 would be the angle in radians. And if we reduce, we could divide by 10, which makes 1 pi over 18. So your answer is D. Sketching 6 radians. So we knew 1.5-ish, 3.14-ish, 4.7, and then this would be 6.28. So 6 is just shy of being at 6.28. Sketch in standard position. So 3 pi over 3 would equal 1 circle, would equal a half circle. That's 1 pi. And 6 pi over 3 would equal a full circle. Okay, that's 2 pi. So if I do 7, I'm more than a full circle. So 6 and then 7. Change to degrees. So negative 2 pi over 9 is in radians. I'm going to times by 180 and divide by pi. The pi's cancel. So negative 360 over 9. And that would divide to negative 40 degrees. Identify the measure of angle R in radians. Okay, so we can either go everything radians or everything degrees. I'm going to do everything in degrees right now. So this is a 20-degree angle. Okay, so I need to subtract from 180 because I know in a triangle they all add up to 180. So this has to be a 50-degree angle. So now 50 degrees, I'm going to times by pi and divide by 180. So you are good if you answer just that. If you want to reduce, you can reduce that yet. And what do we want to divide by here? 10. Let's go with 10. 5 pi over 18. Okay, but this is an acceptable answer as well. You can leave it.